Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering everyone in your life is an actor. Your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors, even your family. Every conversation, every coincidence, every opportunity, every fear, carefully designed. Not for your benefit, but for an audience. Now imagine something worse. Imagine realizing it has been happening since the day you were born, and everyone knew except you. Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. Today we enter hidden archives to examine one of the most prophetic films ever created, The Truman Show, a story that once felt impossible and now feels increasingly familiar. At first glance, Truman Burbank appears fortunate. He lives in a beautiful town. He has a stable job, friendly neighbors, predictable routines, a comfortable life. Everything appears perfect, but perfection is often the first warning sign, because perfection requires maintenance, control, manipulation, correction. The town of Sea Haven is not a community, it is a set. A carefully engineered environment designed to eliminate uncertainty. Every road leads somewhere predetermined. Every conversation serves a purpose. Every experience reinforces the same message. Stay where you are. Do not question. Do not leave. And perhaps this is why the film resonates so deeply. Because many systems function exactly the same way. Not through force, but through comfort. The most important wall around Truman is not physical. It is psychological. As a child, he is taught to fear water. A traumatic event is staged. His father's apparent death, a carefully manufactured fear. From that moment forward, the boundary polices itself. He no longer needs guards. He no longer needs chains. Fear does the work. This principle appears throughout history. Control rarely succeeds through physical barriers alone. The strongest prisons exist inside the mind. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of uncertainty, fear of leaving familiar territory. When fear becomes internalized, the cage becomes invisible, and invisible cages are the hardest to escape. One of the strangest elements of The Truman Show is not Truman, it is everyone watching him. Millions of people become emotionally invested in his life. They laugh, they cry, they celebrate his victories, they watch continuously, day and night. The audience believes they care about Truman, yet their entertainment depends upon his ignorance. His freedom would end the show. His awakening would destroy the product. And here the film asks an uncomfortable question. How often do human beings consume the lives of others as entertainment? Reality television, social media, influencer culture, celebrity obsession. People increasingly live under observation, not because they are forced to, but because visibility itself has become currency. The Truman Show predicted a future where everyone becomes both audience and performer. A future that no longer feels fictional. Above Truman's world sits Christoph, the creator, the observer, the architect of reality itself. He controls the weather, the environment, the narrative, the people, the timing, everything. Yet Christoph genuinely believes he loves Truman. That is what makes him dangerous. He does not see himself as a villain. He sees himself as a protector. He believes the artificial world is safer than reality, more stable, more predictable, more comfortable, and perhaps every system of control eventually reaches this conclusion. The belief that freedom is too dangerous, that uncertainty is unacceptable, that people must be protected from reality itself. Truman's awakening does not begin with proof. It begins with anomalies, small cracks, objects falling from nowhere, strange repetitions, contradictions, moments that do not fit the official explanation. The system begins to malfunction, and once a person notices one crack, they begin noticing others. Patterns emerge, questions multiply. The official narrative becomes harder to accept. Every awakening follows this sequence. Not certainty, curiosity, not answers, questions. The first step toward freedom is rarely discovering truth. It is recognizing something is wrong. The most powerful moment in the film occurs near the end. Truman sails to the edge of his world and finds a wall. The sky itself is fake. The horizon is fake. The limits of reality are fake. Everything he believed was natural was manufactured, and yet the true revelation is not the wall. The true revelation is his response. He chooses uncertainty, he chooses reality, he chooses the unknown, even when comfort remains available, even when safety remains available, even when fear is used against him one final time, because freedom always requires risk. Perhaps the Truman Show endures because it is not really about television. It is about awakening, about questioning inherited realities, about noticing the cracks, about choosing uncertainty over comfortable illusion. The film ends with Truman stepping through a doorway, not into certainty, not into answers, but into possibility. And perhaps that is where every meaningful journey begins, beyond the edge of the world we were given, into the reality we must discover for ourselves.